again, back with another project on the SN95 Mustang. One thing I don't like about it, which I did on my Cobra up here when I was building it, is I like to have my brake pedal and my clutch pedal at the same height. So I am going to move the clutch pedal on the Mustang down about 1.5 inches. Now I do know that Maximum Motorsports makes an adapter that you can bolt on and bolt the clutch pedal to and kind of accomplish the same thing. I just don't want to move the clutch pedal more to my left. Even though it's not much, I'm just going to make a small little cut, adjust the pedal, and then I'll have it where I need it. It'll be closer to the firewall, basically, and I still will have the full travel. So let me take you inside here. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. So as you can see, this is a stock setup: clutch pedal, brake pedal. What I'm doing is taking the nut off with a 18mm ratchet wrench. I'm going to pull the nut loose so I can remove the pedal. And again, initially I'm going to make a V-cut right here on the back side, and then we're going to bend this down. I'll reposition the pedal, see where I am, and then we'll weld it and go to the next step. And I'm not pulling the lower dash off. Pedal off. Okay, I have this set up on my little welding table. Basically, I'm going to make my initial cuts on this little V mark I made. So we'll cut that section out, maybe relieve this just a little bit, and that'll allow me to put it in the vise on the workbench, and then bend this down this way just a little bit. So I'll do a little bit at a time, and then what I'll do is I'll just go back in and fill in this by welding it. So we'll get started on that. And again, safety. All right, now that I've got this in my vise, I'm just going to try to bend this up a little bit. I'm just going to do a little bit at a time, and it'll be a kind of on and off thing to see what's going on. Alright, I've closed that up, so now I'm going to go take it back over to the car. Okay, I'm back over to the car. We're going to do a test fit, probably one of several. I went ahead and steel wooled the rust off. I'll lube this one up at the last, but I put a little never seize on the square shank, so it'll just go on a little bit easier. I go to fit just like that. It's like a glove fit now. And you can see I closed up this gap a little bit. I think I can go just a little bit more. I'm going to open that up just a little bit more, and then I'm going to come back and do another test fit. So now that you've seen the process, I'll just go do that and come back. Okay, I made another small little V-cut. Basically took a little bit more material off of this side, which had a little bit more meat to deal with, and then I come back and undercut the opposite side just a little bit more, just so I could bend it a little tighter. So we'll see how this fits. Okay, I am gonna, knowing that I'm gonna bring this pedal up a little bit, I'm gonna see how far off I am, but I'm gonna guess maybe about 1/8 of an inch here, but we'll find out. All right, I've got the pedal back on. I put a nut up here, not the locking one, but I have another nut just so I can get the pedal on and off easy, and with all the free play on the pedal taken out, so it's at its rest position here. I just laid a little flat edge across here, and the distance I have, I believe, was about 1/8 of an inch. And knowing, and I'm going from the bottom of this straight edge, so I've got about 1/8 of an inch here between the pedals, and knowing that I'm going to be bringing this one up a little bit, I'm going to call this good. I've put a small bolt in here to keep the hole from closing up and pinching my open spot on the back side that I'm going to weld, just to make sure that everything works right and that I have full release. So I will do that first, and then I'll pull the pedal off and weld it and stick it back on. One thing that had to be reset was this lock on the neutral safety switch. So basically you unsnap it and then put it on real high and then depress the pedal, and it'll center itself and lock so that your neutral safety switch will work. Other than that, it works fine, and the pedals are almost even right here, flat across. I take a wrench here, kind of try to get an idea, but it feels really nice, and the release is basically, I'd say maybe about 1 inch off the floor. So I like that a lot better. Pedals are nice and flat here. I will be pulling this one out just a little bit, so that'll be my next project. But I like this a lot better, and it looks a lot better, in my opinion. So now it'll just be taking it off, take the bolt out here, welding this and bolting it up for good. Just gave it a nice little spray paint. It'll clean up, make it look a little bit nicer, but pretty much it's done, so we'll let that dry. And now I'm just bolting the painted pedal back. Hooked up my neutral safety switch, and I have the rubber bumper that I'll be snapping back in as soon as I get this tight. I'm pretty happy with this. This release is about 1 inch off the floor now. Let me tilt it down. So basically, when my foot's on it, I'm coming out maybe about right here, and it's releasing. So I have plenty of travel, plenty of free play. So nothing mechanically changed in any kind of geometry from this point up. I just changed basically this portion down. So everything else stayed pretty much the same. You have options. You can either cut and weld, or you can buy the Maximum Motorsport repositioning piece. I think it's about $15. I'll put a link. But other than that, I'm gonna call this one good. Okay, that project is finished. I'm real happy. Clutch pedal releases about 1 inch off the floor, like I mentioned. And I just took it up and down the road. Much easier to shift. I'm not over revving the engine, and I'm not waiting for the clutch to catch or release. So I'm very happy right now, and I'll just move on to the next project. Thanks again.